Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Etivaz, and he is in the Atlanta 7 US cruiser. He is on the map north in a 3-point domination game, and well, he's also division with Belfast and Sims, so a little bit of a dirty division here. I can totally understand if you feel like you need a shower after watching this one. But then again, I mean, they are in a tier 8 battle, so it's not that bad.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Now they've decided to take the B cap, and well, with a destroyer and some radar and smoke, that seems like a fairly decent choice. And they've caught the enemy Z-23 here. Now the enemy Z-23 made one very big mistake, and that means he didn't have an exit strategy. Instead, he tried to run away and reach himself. So not paying much attention where he was going. I mean, it can happen. Let's just face it, we all have made stupid mistakes some point or the other. But basically, if the Z would have sailed in here and then just sailed out like through this gap here, he would have been perfectly fine. It took them quite a while to actually sink him. So yeah, the Z could have easily gotten away if he had positioned himself a little bit better here. Now what's our Atlanta up to next? It looks like they've dealt with all the immediate threats here. He's trying to use this island as cover and get some shots here into the York. There is an enemy Belfast, and he is raided right now, so he's probably just going here. He's using his torps, by the way, to check where the Belfast is going, to see if the Belfast is moving forward here or not. When you have a torpedo launcher, you can use that to just figure out in which direction the enemy is going, which can be pretty helpful, or how fast they are going. So right now he's just keeping an eye out where enemies are and where he needs cover. Now the radar is gone, so he's safe for now. But there is still this Belfast around, and it be a shame if they'd caught this Belfast just sitting inside the smoke and could wait. And I'm taking control of the camera here. He's just looking around so much in all directions and trying to figure out where enemy ships are going. But it gets you can get kind of nauseous if you just follow his fast camera movements all the time. So I'll give back control of the camera to the player once something interesting is happening again. And that might be just right now. Now the Belfast here is providing the smoke, and they're going for some radar, and they are hoping to get the Belfast here. Now I'm not sure why the Belfast chose to sail out here into the open, fully broadside, but probably not the smartest idea this enemy ever had. Like, he could have just gotten closer to this island and hugged this island real tightly and waited out the radar and would have been safe. But, you know, instead he went out into the open. And now he's just getting wrecked. But he did have YOLO in his name, so maybe he was just living up to his name here. Now once again, we are out of targets. Now let's just take control of the camera again. Now they could move out and try to help at the C cap over there maybe. Or they could try to move out towards A. Thing is, there aren't like the best islands for you guys to use as cover. Or they could always just sit in smoke. But for now, I think they are trying to just defend this cap, because we have 2 battleships coming this way. Well, maybe 3 if you count the Amagi that may or may not go through this channel. Now there is a really big blob here sitting just behind this cap. That's currently maybe not the most useful. Now the friendly Sims is going for A, so the destroyer in the division decided he's needed to grab A, and that's probably the case. And well, we have an Amagi here, so... But the danger here has passed. Problem is there are 2 more battleships pushing in here, so maybe the friendlies overstayed their welcome. Maybe it would have been better for the Atlanta and the Belfast to evacuate a little bit sooner. And that's actually an interesting direction Etivaz is going here. I would have been going more towards the... well, away from the potential Amagi that's coming here from the left. And he is detected here. Then again, he might just be hoping that he can ambush the Amagi with torpedoes. I'm unsure who he... Well, no, I'm not. So the Warspade came up behind him and there's a Cleveland in front of him, and now he's in a pretty bad spot. So he is detected, he must angle against the Warspite behind him, but at the same time he wants to angle against the Cleveland. Cleveland is sailing behind an island, so that's the good news. There is a lot of friendly ships who could take care of the Cleveland, so probably nobody is shooting the Cleveland. And he's managed to get into concealment again. Now that's also the reason why he didn't fire, because he really thought he'd have to go into concealment here. And, well, I mean, that Cleveland is here again now. This time he is going to open up fire. I guess he's decided that nobody's ever going to shoot this Cleveland, so he has to do it himself. And he is looking around a lot. He's trying very hard to, I guess, decide where he's going, not to sail into an island, and hopefully also stay in... Like, he has this island here behind him that should serve as cover against those battleships. And his biggest threat currently is, I think, the Cleveland. But like, then, I mean, again, there are some unspotted ships out there. We, for example, don't know where exactly the Sharnos is, but the Cleveland's dealt with. And thankfully, like, the enemy battleships here, they waited a little bit, right? They were in the perfect position to push in here, but I decided not to. But one of the reasons might be the friendly Bismarck, and that's like very nice play by the Bismarck. The Bismarck is taking the front line here. Now the friendlies meanwhile also got control of A. There is an enemy Leningrad that's, I don't know what he's doing. And the Sims is coming back here to probably help out. I mean, there is the potential that the York maybe turns around and tries to get A, but there are still friendly ships around there. Hunting down that Leningrad is probably a waste of time for the Sims. So the Sims is just coming back here. Okay, I think I can even get control of the camera. I'm not like... He really had a nervous tick in this game. Maybe because the Atlanta is so vulnerable and he's so desperately trying to keep an eye out in every direction.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on full alert.
But anyway, so it's very nice to... Like, the friendly battleships here, they might not have anything to shoot right now. They're pushing forward, and they are preventing the enemy battleships from pushing here, right? If the friendly battleships weren't here, those enemies would just sail around the corner and absolutely wreck the cruisers. Now the problem is, and yeah, now the Scharnhorst appears, there is still enemy ships here on the right flank that are just currently unspotted, and that means there is a big threat that suddenly shells will rain upon our Atlanta here from the right side. Now the Sims is coming in here with a smoke screen, and Etivaz is on his way to take advantage of that.
Torpedoes to starboard.
So that Warspite did not really choose the best approach here, and also not the right time, to be honest. Like, nobody was pushing with him. He pushed in here full broadside in front of the entire friendly force here. Now we have a York following that up. And that's one less York. And now we have the Bayern just still sitting here, serving his hit points, I suppose. It's like... It might not have been the best idea to push in the first place, but if the Bayern would have backed up his comrade there, I think it would have turned out a lot better for the enemy team. But anyway, there is also still the Amagi who has... I mean, the Amagi is really fond of this gap here, it looks like. I'm not entirely sure why, but maybe he just is into tight channels. So the Scharnhorst and, well, the grass here on the right flank. Like, the right flank has been pretty absent for a long time, and now the Bayern pushes in. I mean, his situation hasn't really improved. I'd say it's a lot worse than if he had pushed in with his teammate earlier. But he's basically doing the same thing. He's just coming around this corner broadside. He's trying to angle away by now. But he's still in front of an Atlanta guns. The smoke is still here. And he's probably getting shot at by this Colorado. Then again, I mean, the Colorado might just be showing broadside to the Amagi. Honestly, this whole battle has been pretty weird, if you ask me, so far. Now, the right enemy flank still isn't willing to do anything offensive. Like, if the enemy right flank would have arrived sooner, they could have really crushed the friendlies here. If the right flank would have pushed in and those battleships would have pushed around the corner, the friendlies would have been in a very, very bad situation. I also feel like this Amahi could have done a lot more than just sit behind, sit basically at this channel here. I mean, there was a perfect opportunity, I think, for him to just push in and farm the friendly battleships broadsides here. But okay. So overall, the friendlies are up 1 ship and a few points. And they one more camp. Now this is not over yet. Etivaz is up to 6 kills with only 91,000 points of damage. So was a bit of kill securing going on, I suppose, but nevertheless a very nice result so far. And now this is utterly risky, but you know, the Amagi is doing, like, the Amagi didn't even try to shoot him here. Instead went for somebody else. It's always helpful if the enemy operates. Then again, I mean, he was probably going for the Belfast, also not the worst target. And now we have a Leningrad here, 2.5 kilometers away, and a Scharnhorst coming in. And then we have some friendly torps coming in from the right, who might just be blocked by the wreck. So he's launching here towards the Scharnhorst, and he's firing at the Leningrad. Now obviously the Leningrad has torps, and the Scharnhorst has torps, so this is going to be interesting. Now there are torps, there were friendly torps coming from behind. Those torps got blocked by the wreck, so he was counting on that. And there is a nice, lovely double strike here that brings him up to 9 kills. Well, there is still a Degras remaining, so let's just see if he can bring that up to 10. I mean, looking pretty decent here. Now the enemy team is also almost winning. And I mean, this cruiser could just sink him. The enemy is already shooting armor piercing. And he's in Atlanta, he's particularly angled. So, wait, did the grass just miss? Well, that's almost looking like he's going to get the 10th kill here. No, he does not. And here we are with the results. Etivaz earned himself 2,969 base experience and managed to sink 9 ships in the Atlanta. Obviously, there was quite a bit of help there from the team, but nevertheless, very impressive result. He also achieved a Confederate double strike, Kraken, a first blood at a high caliber, scoring 145,000 points of damage. So this was a pretty weird game. Nevertheless, I found it amusing to watch. I hope you enjoyed watching it too. And I'll see you guys next time.